Hey, it's your girl, Coach Sylvia. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Listen, I do have a word for you, but before we get started, what I'm going to tell you to do, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can know when I'm on. What else I'm going to tell you to do? Share. Someone may need this word just as much as you do. So, y'all, this morning when I was in meditation, I began to read about Leah, Rachel, and Jacob. So when I began to read about that, the topic came to mind was only what you do for Christ will last. All right. Only what you do for Christ will last. So let me give you the background of the story. Jacob wanted Rachel. So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel. Well, when he woke up from his honeymoon, he realized that he was not with Rachel. He was with Leah. So the father had tricked Jacob into marrying Leah. So what Jacob did was he worked another 7 years to get Rachel. But let me back up. During this time, Jacob's name means trickster. So Leah was invited to a place that she did not know. She did not know that her father was going to trick Jacob into marrying her. Jacob did not know he was going to be tricked into marrying Leah. So Leah was not desired. Leah was not acceptable for Jacob because he loved Rachel. So can you imagine how Leah was feeling rejected? Leah was feeling some type of way because she knows that her husband do not love her. So what Leah decided to do was she said, I'm going to start having children. Maybe my husband will love me. But when you look at the thing and you see that the way Jacob treated her, his name was trickster. So he had already had a character flaw. You got to remember that he had tricked his own father for the birthright. So when you think about his name is trickster, could you imagine that he had a character flaw? So he probably lied. He probably didn't treat her right. He probably said things to her. He probably talked any kind of way. He probably ignored her. He probably did not treat her like a wife should be treated, right? So when you think about it, when you think about Jacob's name, he only did according to who he is. He is a trickster. So how he treated Leah, he's supposed to treat Leah that way because that is who he is. So let's think about it. How many times that we have been in friendship, business partners, relationships, and you see the character of a person, but you feel like you can change a person because you think that you can do something to make them want you. At the end of the day, you cannot make anybody want you because what you see is what you get. And when a person show you who they are, you have to believe it. So in this situation, Leah was in a place where she was not loved. So Leah said, well, let me start having some children. So she had Reuben. So she was like, well, I have Reuben. Maybe he will love me. Then next she had Simeon. Well, Simeon means that I'm rejected, but maybe now the Lord sees me and my husband will love me. Well, then she had Levi. Okay, now God, I am lonely, so maybe he will love me. So she had all these children, and each child meant something. So each time she was in a different place. Each time she was in loneliness, she was in rejection, she was in misery. She wanted to be loved, but that just did not happen from Jacob. So how many times we have been in different seasons because we decided that we trying to make somebody love us. We trying to make somebody be our friend. We trying to make business relationships works. We trying to do all this stuff and it's just not working because that's not who the person wants. So what Leah did was she put herself in a situation. She put herself in a place where she was in all different types of seasons. She was in her winter season and she's supposed to be in her summer season. She was in a winter season and she's supposed to be in her spring season. Why? Because she was in different seasons just to try to get Jacob to love her. So how many times we have did that? We have did different things trying to get somebody to love us. But this go around, Leah said, I'm gonna name this baby this time. She said, I'm gonna name this baby this time. I'm gonna name this baby Judah. And what Judah means, I'm going to send up a praise. So this go around, what she did was, I'm not thinking about Jacob. I'm not thinking about Rachel. I'm not thinking about the seasons that I've been in. Because this time, God, I have to give it to you. I got to give you a praise. Because why? All the other seasons did not work. All the other times that she was having them babies, she was having out of place trying to get Jacob to love her. But this go around, she was like, I'm not worried about Jacob. I'm not trying to get him to love me. But now I got to seek God's face. And when she started seeking God's face and sent up a praise, this go around, she gave God a praise and she stopped conceiving. Why? Because now she understood her worth. Now she understood that she was a pearl. All those different times when she was going through that them situations, she was becoming a pearl. Now it's making me go shift to another place. When I talk about chain breaker and pearl, before you can become a pearl, you was in this cocoon. You have to go through agony. In order for that pearl to become a pearl, that pearl got to go through agony. That pearl got to hide itself. That pearl got to be lonely. That pearl got to protect itself, because if the pearl is not protected in the shell, if it's not protected, the pearl cannot become what it's supposed to be. And as long as the pearl was in agony and in trouble, the pearl was getting this value raised up. The pearl was becoming what it's supposed to be. So during the time that Leah was going through all she was going through, the time of rejection, God said, I'm making her a pearl. The time that she was lonely, God said, I'm making her a pearl. The time that she was having misery, God said, I was making her a pearl, because this time she understood her value. She understood her worth. This time she understood her standards. She made a standard, a different kind of standard. She got in the standard of who she is, and that is a pearl. And y'all, the Lord just shifted. This was not how I was going to go, but since the Lord has shifted, some of y'all women need to know that you are a pearl. And when you find out who you are in God and who you are in Christ, only what you do for Christ will last. So when Leah started praising God, when Leah sent up a praise, when Leah named that baby Judah, guess what? A pearl was birthed out. So I just want to tell you today, when you get through doing what you're doing to try to make somebody like you, love you, doing all that, it's not going to change them. You're not going to make somebody love you, like you, stop talking about you, stop doing all these things. Only what you do for Christ will last. So I just want to tell you, get in the face of God. And when you get in the face of God, and when you send up a praise, when you send up Judah, you will become the pearl God has created you to be. I'm Coach Sylvia. Have a great day. Bye-bye.